Okay, so in today's video I will be showing how to create a Java program, okay, and then turn this into an exe file, okay, as you can see here, and then use ASP.NET to insert and select MySQL records. Okay, so let's start with our Java file. Okay, so I have here two Java class. I have this one and this one. Okay, so let's look into the dbconnect class first. Okay, so as you can see here, I have here a constructor, okay, wherein I connect to a Java using Java connector, okay, and it's connected to my local machine using the port number, database file, and username and password. Okay, so this can be obtained by doing this. Okay, so you can create a database connection and type in your database name, okay, and your username and password, and click test connection. Okay, so it must appear connection succeeded. So you can copy this one, okay, and paste it here, okay, just to check if your Java program can connect to MySQL. Okay, so we have here a method called getData, which accepts a string parameter. Okay, so this one will select everything sa students table, but the value of name must be equals to n, which is the parameter. Okay, so as you can see, we have fields that will be stored to each variable. Okay, this will perform an iteration, and then we have another method called insert data. This will accept 4 parameters: name, section, gender, address, and this will insert records to your students table. As you can see here, I concatenated all the variables, okay, in the parameter. Okay, as you can see, separated by a comma, single quote, because it's a string. All the data types in the students table, all the fields are all of type string, so that's why I have quotes, okay, for each field. Okay, so we're going, okay, so I have here all the variables or fields, and using java.sql. So we're going to create an instance of this here in my main class. Okay, as you can see, we created an instance of this dbconnect. So everything you can do in dbconnect, okay, you can do here using a. Okay, so a, we can insert data. We're going to call this method, and then we can also get data, okay, using this method. Okay, so what I did here is you need to input an argument, because you're going to run this using DOS. You're going to input an argument and then store it to a variable, string variable, and then you're going to split that string, okay, and we have an if statement that checks if the first array index of that string is equals to insert. Okay, and then if this is true, we're going to call the insert data method, this one, and insert the following values. So what you will do here is you will simply enter insert in the command line, followed by all the values that will be inserted. For example, A, B, C, D. Okay, so insert. Okay, this is a single parameter, so we have insert. Okay, the second parameter is this one. Okay, third, fourth, and fifth, all of these values will be inserted using the insert data method. Okay, so we will try running this program later. Okay, so if you input select now, it will perform get data, which is this one. Okay, so after all of this is ready, you need to check if our Java project creates a jar file, because we will need this later. We're going to compile our jar file using IKVM to .exe. We're going to convert our jar to .exe. Okay, so let us now build. Okay, so let me try building again. Okay, and so there's no error. Okay, so what I will do now is I'm going to copy the entire project folder, which is found here, and then paste it in my Windows virtual machine. Okay, so I have a shared folder so that I can insert files. Let me just delete this first. Okay, so this is now the entire project folder. Okay, and this is my Windows 7 IP address, which is this one. So you can now see that you have the entire project folder saved here in my share folder. Okay, so next step is let us compile the jar file to .exe. So I'm going to run a command line. Okay, so let me run. Okay, let us go to the IKVM 8.1 first folder. Okay, so you will see here. Okay, this is the path that we need to execute IKVM, which is this one. Okay, the compiler. Okay, drag and drop the file so that you can go to its path. Okay, this is where we need to execute IKVMC, the compiler. Okay, select the jar file of our project, Java project. Okay, which is found here. Drag the file, include a space, and then we also need to include the MySQL connector. So for this example, I will be using SQL connector 5.1. Okay, so select this one. Okay, this is needed to connect our Java program to MySQL. Okay, press enter. Okay, so don't mind the warnings, it will still create our exe file. Okay, as long as it's warning. Okay, so let us now test if we can execute the file here. Okay, going back to our Java program, as you can see. Okay, so as you can see here, you are required to input a parameter. Okay, so that is what we will do here. Okay, so the exe file, this one, okay, where is it? This one is located or found here. Okay, here in the same path where you execute IKVM. Okay, so let's go to the IKVM folder, this one. Okay, you will see the executable file. So let's execute this file and input a parameter. So the parameter needed here must be equals to insert or select. Okay, followed by 4 values if you're going to insert a record. If you're going to select, just type select followed by a value. Okay, this one. Okay, input select first followed by a value. Okay, so going back to Windows, okay, let's look into MySQL first. Okay, this is my SQL server. Okay, so the database that we are currently using is, as you can see here, it's enrollment system. Okay, and the table is, as you can see here, it's called students. Okay, so let's try deleting the records first. Okay, so let us now insert records using this executable file created using IKVM. So I will type insert, this is our parameter, comma. Okay, that's the purpose of having this one. Okay, you need to split all the commas, okay, in this string, okay, which is our first parameter or argument. Okay, insert comma followed by 4 values. As you can see here, we're going to insert 4 values. Okay, so after this I press enter. You will see a confirmation that all the datas are inserted. So the records inserted message here is because we included this. Okay, records inserted. So this is a print line here in Java. You will also show that see the output here in Windows command line. Okay, so let's now look into our MySQL if the records are inserted. So as you can see here, the records are inserted. Running the exe file again and insert another set of data. Okay, so records inserted. Let's check the students table again. Okay, you will see now that I have here 2 records. Okay, so so by the way, you need to use the MySQL connector version 5.1.47. So if you're going to use the MySQL connector for Java version 8, it will show this error. Okay, so if I compile this one using IKVM, okay, but I use a connector that is not compatible with my MySQL, okay, it will show an error message. Okay, so let me show you the error message here. I will use this connector. Okay, instead of version 5, I will use version 8. Okay, so this will be compiled to that exe, showing different sets of warnings, as you can see. Okay, let's try executing the file that is created here. Same file, but compiled using a different MySQL connector. Okay, this one. So this will show an error message. Okay, insert some values, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so as you can see, it will show an error message like this one. Okay, because the Java connector is not compatible with your SQL. So you need to select a compatible Java connector. So for this case, okay, I'm currently using MySQL connector 5.1. Okay, so a newer version of a Java connector does not mean that it's better or compatible. So sometimes it will cause errors. So I will use this one and compile the exe and compile to exe again, version 5.1. Okay, so let's execute the file again. As you can see, inserting the following data. Okay, it will not show any error message. And if you look into your MySQL, the data are inserted. Okay, so what about this one? Get data. So get data is called every time you type select instead of insert. Select followed by a single value. Okay, so using the same file, okay, this time we're going to select comma a value that is previously been inserted. Okay, so this will not show any error because we're going to search for this value, okay, which is n. So there is no one with that name. Okay, as you can see, if you look into my database, there is no one named 1. Okay, running the same executable file. Let's search for this name AA. Okay, and it will show all the records for that user or that person, AA. So name, address, gender section, okay, which is the same. Okay, so let us now use this executable file, this one. Okay, we're going to use ASP.NET, okay, that will show you this output, so that instead of inserting records or selecting records using command line, okay, we're going to use ASPX. Okay, so in this example, I will now type using web input boxes, for example. Okay, insert, and all of this data will be inserted here in MySQL. So let's select the entire record, the entire table. So as you can see, anything that you type here will be inserted in MySQL. Okay, we can also perform search functionalities if you input a name here. So, okay, let's try selecting this one, 12. Select. So this will show all data, okay, with a name 12, as you can see here. Okay, so let me show you the code for this ASPX file. Okay, as you can see here, we have the following imports. Okay, and then we have here two methods. The first one is this one is to insert. Okay, the second method is to select. Okay, and then we have here input boxes, which is this one, input boxes. We have 4 input boxes, and then we have a submit button, okay, which is this one. We have another input box for select, which is this one, and its submit button, this one. Okay, so going back sa code, as you can see, each input box, okay, is given a different ID. So this one is ID name, section, gender, address, and this one ID, this one is ID name 2. So every time you click the button, it will call the method randos. If you click this one, if you click the second button, this one, it will call randos too. Okay, so let's look into randos first. So we have here randos. Okay, so this statement will execute a file called Java MySQL exe, which is the same file that we are running, Java MySQL exe. Okay, so this file, executable file, is stored here in this path. So you need to specify the path where the file is stored, and then we have here some parameters or arguments. So as you can see here, for inserting, we just type the executable file followed by insert and followed by 4 values. So same thing that is happening here. Insert the value of your first input box, this one, the value of your second input box, third and fourth, all concatenated. Okay, so this is treated as one string. So everything is concatenated, separated by a comma. Okay, similar to what we're doing here. Insert, comma, name, comma, okay, so on and so forth. Okay, and then that's it. So let's look into another method, randos2, which will be called every time you click this button, select. Okay, so randos2 execute the same file, as you can see. Okay, but this time the parameter is different. It's select. Okay, same with this one. We're selecting, select, comma, a name. So in this case, we're concatenating the value that is inputted here. Okay, and then, but this time, we're going to perform or show the output. Okay, so if we're going to do this in the command line, it will show this, your name, address, gender, section. So we need to show the output here using a browser, using ASP.NET. So we're going to perform a loop, okay, until it reaches the end of stream. Okay, so a simple response that write output with an HTML tag and performing the read line of all of everything that is outputted if you execute this executable file in command line, and will be stored to a string. Okay, and we simply display the contents of the string so that it will appear here in your browser. Okay, so as you can see, we created an exe file based on a Java program. Okay, I have here 2 classes. We have dbconnect that connects to MySQL, selects data, and inserts data, creating an instance of this class here in my main class. Okay, and then you may need to also add some libraries here. In this case, I added the 5.1 Java connector. Okay, and after this, you also need to check if if a jar file will be created after compiling. Okay, when everything is ready, simply clean and build. Okay, to create a jar file. Okay, so I have now here the project folder. Okay, simply execute the IKVM 8.1 exe file, which is this one, the IKVM compiler. Okay, simply drag the file. Okay, create a folder. Okay, change the directory. Okay, type IKVMC, and then use the jar file of your project folder and this one. Okay, the MySQL connector, and that's it. Okay, you can now use that exe file here in your ASP.NET. Okay, so that's it. Okay, see you sa next video. Okay, bye bye.